Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah and I am a yoga instructor and a cat mom. And today I'm going to be moving you through a nice energetic yoga flow focused around getting the whole body up and moving, so moving away from your desk, starting your day, restarting your day, and just giving you the energy you need to do what it is that you want to do. So go ahead and put something comfy on and meet me in a child's pose on your mat. So coming into child's pose by lowering down onto your knees, untucking the toes. Bring big toes to touch behind you and then take the knees as close or as wide apart as you wish as you sink hips down to heels. Pull chin into chest and then start to walk the hands out as you lower the forehead down onto the mat. And take a moment and come to your breath. Notice how you feel and how the breath moves through the body as it fills you up. And then notice why you came to class today. Notice why you picked this flow. Notice why you're on your mat. And then go ahead and set an intention for these next 15 minutes. Something to move with. Something to set up your practice for how you want it to be. And then once you set that intention, go ahead and rise up into tabletop, bringing knees directly under hips and wrists directly under shoulders, spreading your fingers as wide as you can get them. And just take a moment and maybe rock back and forth, giving the wrist a nice little warm up, a nice little stretch. Maybe pick one wrist up and give it a nice turn in one direction, and then in the other, and then doing the same for the other wrists. And then once you're ready again, just taking hands directly under shoulders, fingers spreading as wide as you can get them, nice yogi hands. And then pulling the lower belly ever so slightly in and up towards the belly, so in towards the spine and then up towards the collarbones. And then we'll move through a couple cat-cows, so rooting down through the hands, keeping the core engaged. On an inhale, you'll move the stomach towards the floor. You'll shine the hips back and pull the heart through the arms. Imagine you're trying to touch the wall in front of you. And then exhale, send it up into cat. Root down to the hands even more. Pull chin into chest as you reach the spine to the ceiling and look back. Inhale through cow, reach the heart forward. Find that nice dip in the spine. Exhale, engage the core even more as you reach spine to ceiling, chin to chest, engaging the whole body down into the mat. Inhale through cow. Exhale through cat. We'll move through these a couple more times, just breathing your breath, moving with your body. So inhaling when you inhale into cow, and then exhaling as you exhale, move into cat. And the same thing goes if whenever we're moving, if I'm teaching something and I'm teaching too slow or too quickly, please move with your breath. Make this flow yours, so if that means breathing differently, moving at a different pace, or even taking a different variation of a flow or a pose, please do so. Make this yours, make this safe for you. We'll do one more round, so one more cow, and one more big exhale into cat. And then we'll walk the hands forward, just a slight move. And then we'll step one foot back behind us and then the other, coming up into a high plank. Feet at hips distance. Hands directly under the shoulders, fingers spreading wide. Take an inhale, exhale, engage the core and root down through the hands. Inhale, find your hands rooting down. Exhale, sink the hips high into downward facing dog. And just taking a couple breaths here, maybe pedaling out the feet. Bending one knee and then the other, taking your dog for a walk. And then we'll move through a nice little dance between downward facing dog and plank. So on an inhale, you'll rock it into plank. Exhale, you'll let the knees bend to a hover and send the hips back and then up, straightening the legs back in a downward facing dog. So inhale, rock your shoulders over wrists. Exhale, bend the knees, send the hips back, and then straighten the legs as you send the hips up. Inhale, rock it forward. Exhale, bend the knees, send the hips back and up. 2 more times, inhale, forward. Keeping core engaging as you exhale, bend the knees, send it back and up. 1 last time, inhale, come forward. Exhale, bend knees, send it back, and then into our downward facing dog. Inhale, rise up onto tippy toes. Exhale, bend the knees, but keep hips shining up behind you. Inhale, reach the hips high. Exhale, push stomach towards thighs. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, make your way into a forward fold at the front of your mat. Exhale, shaking something out. And then inhale, start to rise halfway. So let the hands slide up the shins as you pull shoulders and hips into one line. And then think about that cow pose. Send hips back. Let stomach move to floor as you pull the heart through the arms to the front of the room. Exhale, fold. We'll do that 2 more times. Really root down through the feet and engage the core as you inhale, rise. Exhale, keep all of that engagement as you fold. Inhale, rise halfway up 1 last time here. Exhale, fold. Inhale, swing the arms out and around as you start to rise the chest. Start to rise the whole body up. Reach up, look up, offer something up, and then exhale, bring your hands to heart center. And take a couple breaths. Notice something about your body. Maybe about your heartbeat. Maybe about your breath. Or maybe just come back to your intention. And then when you're ready, we'll inhale, reach up, look up, stretch it up, and then exhale, fold. Really rooting down through the feet and keeping the core engaged as you move into the direction of the toes. Inhale, rise it up to your flat back, to your halfway point. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, plant the hands, step 1 foot back, and then the other, into a high plank, or maybe you lower the knees into a low plank. Inhale, look to your front of your mat, and as you exhale, you'll bend the elbows in towards the ribcage, letting elbows graze the ribcage as you lower shoulders and elbows in one line. Inhale, pull the heart through the arms, straighten the arms, lift the thighs off the mat, come onto the tops of the toes into upward facing dog. Exhale, curl back over the toes as you send the hips high into your downward facing dog. Take an inhale, reach the hips high. Exhale, sink chest back towards thighs. Inhale, rise up on the tippy toes. Bend the knees and then exhale, look forward. And when you're ready, make your way forward. Exhaling something out, maybe even taking a side. And then inhale, rise it halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Reach out, around and up. Look up, stretch up. And we'll move through that 2 more times. So exhale, fold. Come all the way down into the direction of the toes. Really root down through the feet and keep core engaging as you inhale, rise halfway. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands, bend the knees. Maybe step the other foot back and then front to meet back. High plank or low plank. Inhale, look to the front of your mat. Exhale, bend elbows to raise the rib cage. Lower shoulders and elbows into one line, and then inhale, straighten the arms. Pull the heart forward, come onto the tops of the toes. Exhale, send it back into downward facing dog, coming back onto the ball of the foot. Inhale, rise hips high. Exhale, sink the chest back as you try to get heels down into the mat. Inhale, rise up onto tippy toes. Bend knees. Exhale, look forward, and when you're ready, make your way forward into your forward fold. Exhale, take your side. Inhale, rise it halfway up. Exhale, come back into your forward fold. Inhale, rise it all the way up. We have one more flow, so stretch it up, reach up. Exhale, fold. Come halfway up on your inhale. Keep the core engaging as you exhale. Bend the knees, plant the hands, and maybe this time you try to hop it back. And if you hop, lower down into Shavasana with the hop. Inhale into your upward facing dogs. Legs engaging off the mat. Hands pushing down. Exhale into downward facing dog. Take a breath. Take a couple breaths. Maybe smile. Thank yourself for moving through a couple sun salutations. Thank yourself for taking it where it took you through those sun salutations. Inhale, rise up onto your tippy toes. Exhale, sink chest back to thighs. Inhale, see if you can shine hips even higher into the ceiling. Exhale, sink chest back. Inhale, rise hips high, and then sink heels down into the mat. Feel that nice deep stretch of the calf muscles. And then inhale, rise up onto tippy toes. Exhale, bend the knees, look forward. And when you're ready, make your way into that forward fold. Take opposite hand into opposite elbow and just take a couple breaths in ragdoll, rocking side to side, back and forth. Feel your heartbeat. Come back to your intention. And then exhale, let the hands find the floor or find your shins or the knees. Inhale, rise it up halfway. Exhale, we fold, and this time as we fold, we bend the knees and we sink the hips down behind us. We're preparing for chair pose. So as you inhale, start to reach the chest and the hands up. Rising up into chair, hips sinking down behind you, but not so much that you can't see your toes. So look down, see if you can see your toes. If not, sink the weight into the heels or rise up out of the knees a little bit. Tuck tailbone, pull the core in, find a nice flat back, and then inhale, reach it up. Exhale, sink. Whether sinking means sinking the hips down or just sinking into your feet. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, find a drishti, a non-moving point somewhere on the wall in front of you. Focus on that drishti. Exhale, engage your core and sink the weight into your left foot. Inhale, rise up onto those right toes. We're going to spring ourselves up. So take a moment, focus on that drishti, pull your core in. Take an inhale, exhale, start to straighten that left leg and pull right knee into chest. Maybe give it a nice little squeeze or a nice little hug. Pull core in. Inhale, reach the hands up. Exhale, whoa, the cat got my tongue there. Take a moment, take a breath. Exhale, start to lower chest parallel to the mat, reaching hands forward. Keeping a nice slight bend in that left leg as you straighten the right leg back behind you. Keeping right hip in line with left hip. Engaging that back glute and pulling toes back towards your face. Inhale, reach forward, stretch forward. Exhale, without a sound, lower that back foot to the ground. Inhale, rise up into high lunge. Front knee bending directly over or a little bit behind the front ankle. Back leg is engaging, but you're pulling those back heels over the back toe, if you can. See if you can play that game of rising heels over the ball of the foot. Core engaging. Maybe you're focusing on that drishti. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, sink the weight even deeper into that front foot. One more time. Inhale, stretch it up. Exhale, sink. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, move into warrior two. So open the hips and the chest to the right side of the room. Pivot on that back foot so the heel is now on the mat. Back edge of the foot is parallel to the back edge of your mat. Front foot is still bent over. Front knee is still bent over the front ankle or a little bit behind the ankle. Core is engaging. You're standing up tall with hips stacking over shoulders. And inhale, you're reaching in opposite directions with the hands. And take a moment and look at your elbows. If your elbows are facing towards the ceiling instead of that right wall, go ahead and just flip your palms, keeping integrity throughout this whole pose. Inhale, reach the hands in opposite directions. Exhale, sink the weight into the back edge of that back foot. Inhale, reach the arms in opposite directions. Exhale, sink. Inhale, bring hands to touch above you and start to straighten that front leg. Exhale, sink it down into warrior two. Trying to keep that right knee opening to pinky edge side of the foot as you bend into the front knee. I said the right knee. The front knee as it bends, try to keep it moving to that pinky edge side of the foot. My bad. Inhale, reach it up. Get palms to touch. Exhale, sink it down. Two more times. Inhale, reach it up. Take a nice big sip of air and then send it out. One more time. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, sink it down. Take the back hand down to the back thigh or wrap it around behind you. Flip the front palm. Inhale, reach forward, and then exhale, send it back into our reverse warrior. Reaching front hand toward wall and ceiling meet behind you on an inhale. Exhale, bend into that front knee a little bit more. Inhale, feel that deep side stretch. Exhale, come back to warrior two. Inhale, reach the hands in opposite directions. Exhale, drop the hands down to the mat. Bring that right heel off the mat. Bring both hips to face the mat. Plant the hands. Root down through the hands. Engage the core to step front foot back to meet the back. Coming into your high or your low plank. Take your inhale. Exhale, come down into chaturanga. Shoulders in line with elbows. Inhale into upward facing dog. Legs engaging on the tops. And you're on the tops of your feet. Exhale, send it back into downward facing dog. Balls of the feet on the floor. Hips rising up to the ceiling and chest moving back towards thighs. Inhale, rise up on the tippy toes. Bend into the knees and exhale, look forward, and when you're ready, make your way forward into that forward fold. Send out your sigh, take a nice little shake, and then inhale, rise it up halfway. Exhale, prepare for chair, sink into forward fold, and then sink the hips behind you as you bend into the knees. Inhale, rise it all the way up. Tuck your tailbone, find your flat back, and engage the core. Bend the knees, but make sure, or bend the knees, but see if you can still see your toes. Sinking into the heel of your foot. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, sink. And remember, sinking doesn't always mean to sink the hips lower. Sometimes it just means feeling the weight sinking below you. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, find your core engagement. Find your drishti. Take an inhale. Exhale, sink the weight into the right foot and rise up onto left toes. Prepare to spring ourselves up. Take a big inhale. Exhale, start to straighten the right leg. Pull left knee into the chest. Little squeeze, and then focus on your engagement. Focus on your drishti. And when you're ready, inhale, reach the hands up. Keeping a nice gentle bend in that standing right leg. And when you're ready, start to lower the chest down parallel to the mat. Reaching forward, start to straighten the leg back behind you. This is warrior three. That front leg is slightly bent. The back toes are pulling to the face and the left hip is in line with the right hip. Inhale, reach it forward. Exhale, without a sound, Drop the back foot behind you. Inhale, reach it up, stretch up into high lunge, and then exhale, sink. And maybe you're rocking. I know I'm rocking a little bit. So pull the core in as much as you can. Really focus on that non-moving point in front of you, that drishti. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, sink. And remember, sinking doesn't always mean moving deeper into a pose. Sometimes it just means sinking into the weight of our body and down below us. Inhale, reach it up one last time. Exhale here. Take a big inhale, and then exhale, open up in the warrior two. Pivoting on that back foot, so chest and hips open to the left. Back toes are facing the left wall, and the back heel is on the mat, so the foot is parallel to the back edge of your mat. You're bending into that front knee, but you're trying to open the knee up to pinky edge side of the foot. Core is engaging. Shoulders are directly over hips. Inhale, we're reaching out in opposite directions with the hands. And again, check in with your elbows. So if the elbows are facing the ceiling, go ahead and flip the palms up. This helps keep integrity in the elbows without trying to hyperextend them. Inhale, reach in opposite directions. Exhale, sink into your warrior two. Inhale, reach in opposite directions. Exhale, sink. And then inhale, we start to bring hands above us. Fingers touch. We straighten the front leg, and then exhale, sink it down into warrior two. Inhale, reach it up. And maybe notice something different about this flow. Exhale, sink. Noticing something different about this flow compared to the flow on the other side. Inhale, reach it up. Maybe as you exhale, you can sink a little bit deeper into warrior two. Or maybe as you inhale, you can get hands together easier. Exhale, sink it down. Or maybe you notice the opposite one last time. Inhale, reach it up. Honor those differences and then move back to your breath to sink into warrior two. So one side of our body is always going to be a little bit different than the other, and that is completely okay. The goal is to get it as close as possible. So moving into reverse warrior, we drop the back hand or we wrap it around behind us. The front palm is facing the ceiling if it's not already, and then we inhale, reach forward, and then exhale, stretch it back. Inhale, reach towards ceiling and wall meet behind you. Find that side stretch, and then exhale, deepen it by bending a little bit more into the front leg. Inhale, reach it back. Exhale, one last time we sink. Inhale, stretch it back. Exhale, come into warrior two. Inhale, reach the arms in opposite directions. Stretch for the front and the back of the wall. Feel that nice engagement all the way out the fingers. And then exhale, bring the hands down to the mat. Pivot on the back toe, coming just onto the ball of the foot. Hips are now facing the mat. Hands are planting. Core is engaging, and we're stepping front foot back to meet the back. High or low plank. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, bend elbows. See if you can get them to touch rib cage. Elbows and shoulders in one line. And then inhale, upward facing dogs. Tops of the feet. Legs engaging off the mat. Exhale, hips rise in a downward facing dog. And then just take a couple breaths here. Really sink down into the hands, but rise up and out of the shoulders, keeping the core engaging and hips rise into the ceiling. Legs are engaging all the way down through the ball and the heel of the foot. So now the heel might not touch the ground. It never has to touch the ground. But the goal is try to move it in that direction. Another option for downward facing dog is to always rise up on the tippy toes and bend the knees. Really send the hips up and then exhale, push into the hands so you're pushing chest to thighs. See if you can get them to touch if you're here. Wherever you are, inhale, feel the hips rise. Exhale, sink into the feet and into the hands, chest moving towards thighs. One more time, inhale, rise hips. Exhale, sink. And then if knees aren't already bent, inhale, bend the knees. Exhale, look forward. And when you're ready, make your way into our forward fold. Exhale, side shake something out. Inhale, rise up halfway. Coming into our last halfway lift. Maybe make it a challenge by exhaling here, and then inhale, reach the arms forward. Exhale, fold. Sink hips down behind you, coming into our last chair. So inhale, reach it up. Tucking tailbone, pulling core in, looking down, checking in with our toes, and then inhale, reaching it up. So we're going to move into one last pose before we move to a seat, and it's Garland Pose. So we're going to combine lifting both heels. So we'll start by sinking into that left foot. Lift the right heel off the mat. See if you can feel your thigh kind of magnetizing to your chest. Engage your core, and then lower that heel. Exhale, sink into that right foot. Inhale, lift left heel. Feel that magnetizing of thigh to chest. And then, maybe, just maybe, you lift right heels. Maybe it doesn't happen, maybe it takes a couple times, and maybe you're wobbly. If so, engage your core. Find that drishti. We're not going to be here long. Just for one inhale, enough to reach it up. Exhale, start to bend the knees. Start to sink hips down towards ankles and heels, keeping heels off the mat. And then take your hands onto the inside of your knees. Open the knees wide, so I'll turn to face you all. So knees are going to open wide and heels are going to touch under you. And take a moment and just notice how this feels with the hips opening. And maybe you stay here. If so, honor it and breathe. If you wish to move deeper, start to walk the hands out, thinking about lowering forehead to mat. Maybe you come onto forearms. Or if you want to practice and try a little bit more of a balancing posture, you can come into the full pose. Engage the core. Find that drishti, that non-moving point, and reach right hand to right heel. Engage core. Really focus on the drishti. Reach left hand to left heel. Inhale, wherever you are, feel the heart kind of pull forward, and then wherever you are, think about forehead to mat. Really opening the knees as wide as you can as you exhale, fold. Take a big inhale. One more big exhale. Actually, let's do that 2 more times. Take a big inhale. Exhale, send it out. One last time, big inhale. And finally, big exhale. And then if the hands are at the heels, step the hand, one hand forward and then the other. And then we'll rise up. We'll all rise up to where hands are reaching in front of us. And then just set one hand behind you. Slowly, without a sound, lower the hips to the mat. Bring the knees wide, feet still touching. We'll move into bound angle. So inhale, pull the heart forward. Exhale, think about bringing chest to feet. Now obviously the chest won't touch the feet. The goal is just to move in that direction. So inhale, pull the heart forward. Exhale, sink. Inhale, pull the heart forward. Exhale, sink. And remember, sinking doesn't always mean sinking deeper. Sometimes it just means sinking into exactly where you are right now. One last big inhale. One last big exhale. And then inhale, rise shoulders in line with hips. Open the legs wide. Find your sitting bones. So rock side to side. Find those 2 hard bones under the butt, under the glute. Pull the toes to the face. Engage the legs and bring the hands behind you. And then think about that cow pose. Think about sending the hips back and pulling the stomach towards the front of you. Finding this nice little tilt. This inward tilt of the pelvic bowl with the hips. Inhale, pull the heart to the ceiling, and then stay here and just focus on this. Focus on this foundation, or start to walk the hands forward. Wherever you are, inhale, pull the heart forward. Exhale, sink. Sink into your engagement, and then if you wish to move deeper, sink deeper. Inhale, pull the heart forward. Keep toes pulling towards face and core engaging. Inhale, pull heart towards the wall. Exhale, sink. One more time. Inhale, find some length. Exhale, sink. And then if you've walked hands forward, go ahead and walk them back. Stack hips over shoulders. Bring hands to the outsides of the knees. Pull the knees in together. Find those sitting bones. We'll do one last pose. Boat pose. So I'm going to do this with you. I might start to get a shaky voice, but that just shows I am also getting a nice little workout through this. So before moving into full boat, unless you want to go ahead and move into it, or you can work it up. So first we'll lift the right foot. Pull the toes back to the face and then engage the core and think about magnetizing. Energetically pulling that thigh to chest. Inhale wherever you are. See if you can lift the chest even more. Lower right foot. Lift left foot. Flex left toes. Engage left leg all the way up into the core. Magnetize. Energetically pull your thigh to chest. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, lower the foot. So maybe you stay with that, or maybe you try to lift both feet. It's really important that before you lift both feet, you know that we're sitting on the sitting bones. We don't want to rock back onto the tailbone. You want to stay sitting tall and proud on our sitting bones. So take a moment, prepare yourself. Maybe even find that drishti. Engage the core. Lift one foot. Engage that foot. Magnetize thigh, and then lift the other. Engage that foot. Magnetize both thighs to chest. Inhale, see if you can pull the heart up. Exhale, engage your core. Maybe you try and lift, bringing the hands away from that. Inhale, lift chest. Exhale here. And then we'll start to move into low boat. So we'll lower down onto the tailbone. We'll straighten the legs and we'll reach hands to thighs. Inhale, reach it up. And instead of thinking about pulling yourself into a nice little ball, think about just lifting onto the sitting bones and pulling the heart up. Exhale, send it back. Low boat. Inhale, high boat. Exhale, low boat. Or maybe you exhale, high boat. Inhale, low boat. Your breath, your movement, 5 times. Exhaling and inhaling. Exhaling and inhaling. 3 more. Exhale, inhale. 2, exhale, inhale. 1 more. Exhale, inhale. Reach it up. Maybe even reach the feet and the hands up. Exhale, send it into low boat. Maybe pedal out the toes. Exhale, lower everything down onto the mat. And take a moment and just smile. Take a moment and feel all of that energy filling up your whole body. Come back to your intention. Come back to the reason you came to this flow. The reason you decided to step on your mat today. Really feeling your lower back sinking into the mat. Letting your heartbeat and your breath fall back to a natural pace. Staying here as long as you wish. Or go ahead and hug one knee into chest, and then the other. And give yourself a nice little rock on your lower back. Just rock side to side for a moment. Rock in a circle in one direction, and then rock in the other direction. And then we'll start to rock and roll our way to a seat. So rocking the weight of the body into the shoulders, and then into the sitting bones. Shoulders, sitting bones. Trying to get the whole spine to really touch the mat. Taking as many rolls as you wish, and then meeting us in a comfortable seat whenever you're ready. And we'll just do a little twist. Just slight twist to let the spine release even more. So inhale, reach up. Exhale, bring right hand to left thigh, left hand reaching behind you. Inhale, reach the heart up. Find some length in the spine, and then exhale, just ever so slightly twist. Inhale, find some length. Feel as if an imaginary string is pulling you up. Exhale, twist. Inhale, reach it up through center. Exhale, left hand to right thigh, right hand down behind you. Inhale, feel that imaginary string will lift you towards the ceiling. Exhale, just ever so slightly twist. So we're not twisting as deep as we can. We're just getting a nice slight release of the spine. Inhale, feel your string pull you up. Exhale, twist. Inhale, come back to center. Bring hands into your lap. Hands on the knees, or one hand at your heart and one hand on your stomach. And take a moment and notice all of that energy. All of that warmth and love you just created for yourself. Notice that smile. That beautiful, beautiful smile. And then say something nice to yourself. Something nice to yourself that is also about yourself. And then honor your body. Honor it for letting you move today. And thank yourself for taking this time to just be with yourself. Please feel free to stay in your meditation, in your Shavasana, for as long as you wish. If you wish to go ahead and start to move about a longer flow, if you wish to step off your mat and rejoin your day, please try to do so with that intention in mind. And see how long you can keep that intention and this feeling that you've just created inside of yourself. See how long you can keep them with you throughout the rest of your day. Maybe even make it a little game. But if you enjoyed this flow, please let me know down below by giving me a like, giving me a comment, letting me know what your favorite part of this flow was. And as always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can also leave them in the comment section down below. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this flow. And if you aren't already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you can join me every Sunday for a nice yoga flow, and join me every Wednesday for a nice little vlog of what my week was like. And yeah, I will see you guys next time. Thanks again for flowing with me, and namaste.